So good morning, one and all. Welcome to Python programming class. Today, we will see some of the recap of what we have discussed in the last class. It is loop over list and arrays in Python, creating and accessing Python array, and removing Python array elements, remove and pop methods, similarities and differences between lists and arrays. Finally, we have assignment. Okay, in the chat box, I'll give this address. This contains all the programs that we are going to handle today. Okay, moving further, let me move this slide here. Yesterday, we have created a list, and each element we want to access it. So what we did, we started using the list itself inside the for loop. Look at here, num in squares. So list is actually an iterator. Iterator means automatically it will supply one element by element to the looping statement. So that is what it is doing. In this particular example, it is doing what it is doing. It is giving first num is getting assignment of 1. Later, 4 is assigned in the second loop. 9 is assigned in the third loop. 16 is assigned in the fourth loop. So this assignment is done implicitly by Python during the looping. So this is what, and it creates a block. This we have seen, and we have taken another example also, and it is not only applicable for normal numbers, but even for string list also. Okay, that is we are using in construct to do this looping. Okay, and next, coming on to another way of doing looping is range function. Range is a built-in function which creates a range of numbers. Okay, suppose I want to create a range of numbers starting from 0 to some up to 3. So I can give range of 3 you can give. So that means 0, 1, 2 up to 3 it will go. Or you can give, I want to start from 50, I want to end at 60. Starting location 50, ending location 61. If you do it automatically, what happens? You can get the uh, numbers range is created. That means it will create a list of numbers. It will create a list of numbers, or I can say sequence of numbers. And you can also skip. I want only two numbers to be skipped. From 61 to 81 I want to print. 61 you can write it here inside this. You can write 61, and here ending is 81. You can write 81, and step is equal to 2. You can give step is equal to 2. When you give step is equal to 2, what happens? 61 is the first number, next number is 63, next is 65, 67, 69, 71, 73, 75, 77, 79, and 80. It will come up to 80. So like this. It is, we are just saying you have to, how many times each time it has to increment during the loop. You can increase this. You can also give negative also, negative. So if I start, I'll just clear it off. If I start with 100, I start with 100. Okay, I start with 100, and the ending I will write it as 5. I write it as 5. Okay, and looping, I just give it as looping statement. I'll give it as minus 1. So it starts from 100, it goes up to 5, that is 4. Every time it will be keep on reducing. 100, 99, 98, just like that, it is reducing. So remember, the stopping condition is, that means the ending condition, that is stopping condition is mandatory. Start and the step is not mandatory. If you don't give start, the default value of start is 0. And the step is default step is 1. Default step is 1. So it is automatically taken. Default step value is 1. Default range, default range start is what you call it as, it is 0. So that's about range function. How exactly this range function, normally we use it in our what we call the one second, we'll use it in our for loop, right? And we'll see that how it is in the next example. Look at here, we have for I in range of 100. That means it will start from 0, it will go up to 99, and each time it prints. So let me show this as an example. I just show it. So let me take one example for I in range 100. So that means it will go up to 99. I just write print I, just print I, and I click here. So automatically I get the value. Automatically I get the value starting from 0 to 99. Automatically it generates. The output is generating it is, and it is giving. You can see. So it starts from 0 and it goes up to 99. You can see it will go up to 99. So this is printing each one in new line. So if you want side by side, end is equal to, you can certainly write space. So once you give space, automatically it will be printed, side by side. You can see it goes up to 99. Actually, it is going, it is up to 99. I have raised the screen, so that's why it is showing. Okay. And I can also give 99. So I can give 50 to 99. I want to print, uh, in terms of 2. In terms of 2, step 2. So 50, 52, 54. So it will automatically, see, look at here, 50, 52, it goes all even numbers. It is printing up to 100. So you can see 98 is the last number it is printing. So you can also print 4. So that means 50, 54, 58, 62. It is just like that. 4 times it is. What I'll do, I'll make it as 150 and 100 and write it as -1. So when I give -1, it starts from 150, it goes up to 99. Look at here. So it goes up to 99, 103, 102. So anyhow, screen, I have to move the screen. If I move the screen, automatically you will get. Okay, I have moved the screen. You can see you will get 101 up to 100. So it is just like that. It is just like that. It is taking. So that is about uh, the range function. Either you can have range function inside the loop, or for creating uh, list also you can use range function. You can certainly use. So that we'll see in the next example. Okay, so I can use the same thing. So LST is equal to a range of 1, 11. Just give. Now print LST. So it is actually storing the function directly. It is not executing. It is storing the function directly. So what you have to do, in order to do this, so you have to call it, okay, we call it as a function. You make it as a list, and you store for I in range. You can certainly do it like this. This is called list comprehension. List comprehension I'll be teaching in the upcoming classes. So like this, it creates a list. Look at here, range function can be used to create a list, and it is containing this. You can see we can create a list like this. Okay, that's about the range function. 0 to 99 it will print. So default value, if you don't give the starting value and increment value, default starting value is 0, default increment value is considered as 1. Right. Next, here in this case, we have given the starting value also, ending value also, and default value also. It will take. So this is also 0 to -10. Yeah, it will every time reduce by -2. So this is one example. So 3 parameter range function, 1 parameter range function, 2 parameter range function. So that means if you give 1 parameter, it is taking only the end target value. 2, start and end. 3, start, end, and increment value. That is, it is taking. Next, arrays in Python. Observe one very important thing. List is heterogeneous. List is heterogeneous in the sense list will uh, print or list will hold different variety of data elements. Whereas array we know very well. Array is a collection of similar data elements, and it stores the array elements, that is index numbers, one next to each other. So 0, array of 0, array of 1, array of 2, array of 3, array of 4, array of 5. So it will print one after the other, one after the other. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The next cells are allocated. Whereas in the case of list, it is a collection, it's a container, it's a collection of various data items, that's all. So you can see array represents a basic value, behaves very much like a list, except that the type of object stores the same data type, that is constraint. So you will enter the type code here. Look at here, you will enter the type code. Sorry, you will enter the type code here. Type code in the sense, if you give B, it will store only characters. If you give capital B, unsigned characters. Similarly, small I, only signed integers. You can have integers. Capital I, unsigned integers. L, signed long integer. F, float. D, double. So look at here one example. So in order to create an array, you have to import array module, import array as ARR. I'm just making short. ARR dot array. I indicates, oh, it is a signed integer 2468. 2468. So it is taking in and it is storing in A. 2468, it is storing in A. So this is and all the elements. In case if you give I and if you give some other character, it will throw error. It should be only integers. Even if you write the floating number or a double number, it will throw error. It will throw error. So that is one thing that you should observe. So here is one example. Look at here. So I'm creating an array of integers 2468, and I'm reading 0, 1, -1 also. So negative index, positive index, and slicing, double index, triple index, everything works fantastic, fine. There is no problem at all. It works exactly uh, as in list, same. There is no problem. Look at here another example. array we are creating 2, 5, 62 something it is. We are creating a list. And from list, you are creating an array. Yes. I number of list. So from the list, this is a normal list. From the list, you can create an array. See what a good combination. So, and you can print 2:5 from 2 position 0, 1, 2. 62 it starts, 3, 4. 62, 5 and 42 are printed. Minus 5. So minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5. Minus 5 is this. 5 colon from fifth location onwards 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 onwards, 52 onwards till the end it will print. If you give colon starting default value, ending default value, it will take all the elements. It will take all the elements. So that's example. Let us see these examples working. Okay, I have created a list. You can just see array. Sorry, I have created an array. Array is like this. It works. And accessing the elements. So 0, 1 and minus 1 elements. Yes, you can certainly display. You can certainly display. Array slicing, we can also slice. So that is splitting 2:5. We can slice. Yeah. Somebody asked a question. Okay. While creating a list to array, can list have heterogeneous values or only single data type? If you have heterogeneous values, definitely array cannot be created. It will throw an error. For example, very good question, Meghana. Meghana, this question is asked by Meghana. Meghana, very good question, Meghana. So if I see this program works fine. So because it is integers, yeah, it is showing all the array of integers. I'm slicing 2 to 5. Yes, 2 to 5 is printing. Minus 5, up to minus 5 it is printing. And 5 colon is printing. Colon is printing. Everything is printing. Fantastic. Everything is printing. Fantastic. Fantastically it is printing. And what you are doing is after this, what you are doing is the Meghana's question. I just add okay, one string value. Now this list has become heterogeneous. If I include heterogeneous as array, it will throw definitely an error. See, error. Because it supports only integers. You're trying to create an array. You're trying to create an array of integers, but the list contain not only integers but also some other data type it is creating. Even if I give 5.0, even if I give 5.0, yes, it is throwing an error. Look at here, 5.0. Sorry, I have to remove comma. Okay, 5.0. Yeah, 5.0 is a double floating number. It is not accepting. It is not at all accepting. So whenever you want to create the array, the data type is very, very important. Array is a collection of similar data type. List is a collection of heterogeneous data type. That is very important point. One of the very important point that you should never forget. Okay. And next, okay, next example, adding elements. I think most of you have already started using array elements. Another chat question. Okay, Jayant has asked, sir, can we create duplicate elements in the list? Yes, it is done. Look at here, we have created, I'm sorry, here in this example. Yes, Jayant, very good question. Here, if I remove, okay, sorry, here 15 I have given. Earlier I have given 5. Now it allows. Yes, see, it is allowing. Look at here, duplicate elements are also allowed. Only thing is they should be integers. They should be of the same data type. Very good question, Jayant. So I want class to be like this. You should be asking a lot of questions. Come out with a lot of questions, doubts. Next, if I want to add, see here, while creating, I have created only 3 elements. I want to add element, one more element. Yes, append. Append is. So when I say append, automatically what happens? It will add one element at the end. It will add one element at the end. And if I give extend, dot extend is another method. It will concatenate two lists. Two list, that is existing list of numbers with a new set of numbers into an array. It can be done. The same thing it is explained in the PPT. Okay, it is explained. So you can extend. Next concept is removing an array element. If you want to remove an array element, very simple. Array element can be removed by using del command or del function. So del num of 2, what happens? The second element gets deleted. Del number, if you give number, that is entire array gets deleted from the memory. Entire array gets deleted. So in this example, let us see. Okay, let us go to next example. Adding, okay, extended lists we have already discussed. Removing. Now, here, before actually we remove any element, let us print a number. Okay, that means when I first, okay, I have created a list 1 2 3 3 3 4. I have done 3 3 4. Next, del num of 2 0 1 2. That means 3 is removed. So after removing, it is 1 2 3 4. Now, next what you are doing after printing, del number, that means the entire array itself, it is removed. And now you are trying to print. When you are trying to print, you are getting name error. Number is not defined in the namespace. It is not there. That means it is removed. It is removed. You are getting an error. Number is not defined. It is removed from the memory. Since it is removed from the memory, how it is able to print? So that is why it is generating error message. So that is how. Now, del is one way to remove elements. Another way is you have a function. You have a function called remove. You have a function called remove. So remove. If you say remove 12, so you need not have to give the uh, index number. Here, in the previous example, you have given the index number, num of 2. That means index number you specified and it went to that particular index number, it got deleted. But here, if I give 12, 12 will be searched in the list or array and it will be removed. The first occurrence of that number. First occurrence of that number is removed. So that is one thing that you should observe. And if you want to remove particularly a particular element, you have to use the index number. If you say rem 12, that number is searched and it will be removed. If the number is not available, then it will throw error. It will generate an error. Similarly, you can also do pop of 2. So what happens? Pop of 2, it will pop, the second index number. Second index number 0. See, look at here after removing 12. So this list of array becomes like this 10, 12, 10, 11, 12, 13. So pop of 2. Pop of 2 means second position. Second position. I'm talking about position. Position in the sense, you see, this is 0 position, 1 position, 2 position. Index number 12 is removed. Yes, it is removed. Now, if I run this code, you can see after removing 12, we got this array. After this, what we have done, pop of 2. Pop of 2 means if you don't give pop, the last element is popped out. Push pop. Pop element will, pop means removing the last element. Okay, so that is pop. If you give specific index number, so it will remove that particular. So in the next line, what I do, just write print numbers dot pop. I just give numbers dot pop. Okay, so when I give numbers dot pop, so it automatically pops the element. It automatically pops the element. So the end element is what? 13. 13 is removed. Popped element is removed. And you can certainly print. Numbers. So you just run. Now automatically. Just like you have append will add at the end. Similarly, pop will remove from the end. So your stack operation is done. It's so simple. Adding the element at the end, removing at the end. So that is nothing but stack. So stack is applied. So that's about removing of elements using pop and remove. In the examination, they ask explain del, remove, and pop. So you have to explain all three. Del with an example, remove with an example, pop with an example. So they look very similar. Their task is same, but their syntaxes are little different. That is what you should observe. Right. Next, similarities between list and arrays. Both are used for storing data. Fantastic. Both are mutable. Mutable in the sense, even after creating, even after storing, you can remove that. You can alter that array. You can alter the list. Both can be indexed. Yeah, we have created a single index, double index, triple index. So we can slice also. We can remove also. We can extract also and iterate it through. That means I can put that list also in the for loop directly, and uh, array also I can put it in the for loop directly. So they are iteratable. Both are iterated through. So those are the similarities. Coming on to the differences. Coming on to the differences between lists and arrays. Lists are heterogeneous, arrays are homogeneous. And elements are stored in a sequence in array. Array are sequence type that behaves very much like lists, but it works on similar data elements, and data elements are stored one after the other. One after the other. Very, very important. So let us look at this example. Look at this example. So in this example, what we are doing, we are displaying the address of the first element and the element itself. Similarly, we are printing address of the second element and address of the first element, address of the last element. Last element we are just printing. Now, I am finding the difference between these two. I am finding the difference between these two. So definitely it is 64. Look at there. So first is available hexadecimal number is this. Second is this, and first is this. So if you do the difference, if you find the difference between second and first, it is 64 bits. Bits I'm talking about. Bits, 64 bits. I'm subtracting address of the second one minus address of the second one. So it is similarly address of 1 minus address of 0. You do same you get. That means this example will tell you they are adjacent. They are adjacent cells. They are adjacent cells. The difference between the first cell and second cell is same. Second cell and third cell is also same. Third cell and fourth cell is also same. So it is just like that. They are adjacent and same data types, but lists are different data types. They have different memory locations, and you should understand that. Okay. Now, arithmetic computation, you can do it with arrays. See here, I am creating a number array, numpy, using numpy. I have created an array. Cost is equal to something I have just taken. If I divide cost divided by 2, what happens? All the elements gets divided by 2 by default. It applies to every element. If you do it for the array, it is applicable for all the elements. Whereas in the case of list, it is not the case. So here you look at here, it is an array keyword is not there. It is the same contents, but it is a list. If you do a division like this, you will get an error. Let us see that in the example. Look at here, array computation. I create an array like this. I divided by this array by 2, and look at there. After dividing, it becomes 2 becomes 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 20 divided by 2 is 10. 30 divided by 2 is 15. It's just like that. Okay. Always the division will result the floating numbers. That's why this dot indicates. Same element, if I use it with list, and if I run, so you will get an error. Look at here, you'll get an error. Okay. So it is the same thing. And last but not least, when to use. Now confusion starts. When to use this list and when to use array, sir? You have thought both. Look at here, first example. So I have created a list and I have created an array, maybe 1,000 elements. Look at the size of, I think in C, you know, it will tell how many bytes the entire array occupies, entire list occupies. The total size. You check out. Look at here. List I'm creating, array also I'm creating. If I run, what happens? List is taking more space. When there are more elements, list is taking more space. Whereas array occupies less space. Look at here, 8,088, 9,024, which is more. List is more, list is occupying more. But in another case, look at another case. I have only 5 elements, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, less number of elements. If you have less number of elements. Now look at the size. Okay, case 2, look at the second case. List is taking less data, less memory space. When data is less, list is performing better. When elements are more, array is performing better. So now you know when to use list, when to use array, because this is very, very important when you are dealing with the data science projects. Memory plays a very important role in that. Okay. So before I end today's class, this is the assignment. You have a list of elements, heterogeneous elements, and you have to find the sum of only numbers. You have to pick only numbers and you have to calculate the sum. Look at here, false cannot be taken, 12 I have to take, minus 2.4 I have to take, true cannot be taken, x cannot be taken, 4 e raised to the power of 2 is a number, Satish is not taken, 1 is taken. If I do the total, I should get the sum. This is the assignment. Please type in your attendance, USN in the chat box. That's all for today's class. Next class, we'll discuss some more examples on looping statements. And happy Sharada Puja, and stay safe. All class recordings are available in this particular website. You can scan the QR code. That's all for today's class. Have a wonderful day.